Now welcome to another lightning response video, where this time the question comes to us from CT1177, who asked, "Hey Thor, can I enjoy what I want to enjoy? I mean, enjoying both Legends and Disney canon of what I will judge to be good. Must I put out a list of things like from Disney canon?" Okay, so I'm going to start by kind of apologizing, because I don't know if this is meant to be maybe a little sarcastic, or if you genuinely asked me this question. Either way, my response is not so much targeted at you or meant to be kind of insulting in any way, but it'll probably come off that way, so sorry about that. And so to bluntly answer your question, it's one that shouldn't have to be asked, because the answer here is obvious. You can and should like whatever the hell you want. Be that some of this version or iteration of Star Wars like the EU or new canon, or some of this one or that one, or all of this one or all of that one. It's all good as long as it's what you enjoy. I mean, I think one of the biggest problems with the fandom today, if not the world on the whole, is an intolerance of differing opinions about everything. And yeah, I know I'm Captain Obvious. But even something as, in the grand scheme of things, and I say this with nothing but love and reverence for Star Wars, but even different opinions on something as frivolous as Star Wars, again in the grand scheme of things, brings out legitimate anger in people. As I've said before, and it's not a ton of people, it's very few, but I've had people wish death upon me because I don't like the sequel trilogy and have the audacity to voice my criticisms in a way that, at least I think, is actually rather fair and measured and respectful to those who disagree or don't like those films. My videos are almost always intentionally presented in a way to invite discussion, because I never want to in any way claim my opinion is in any way more valid than anyone else's out there. And this is very much a two-way street when it comes to things I do like and criticisms against them. Because, for example, every time I say I enjoy Andor in a video, I get at least a few people in the comments that have to tell me how bad it is and that it's not Star Wars or this or that. Which is fine if that's how you feel about it. I've said before, I get or can see why some people may not like it. However, a lot of these comments are said or presented in a way not simply to disagree or invite discussion or debate, but are done in a way that's meant to try and provoke a response from me or simply to piss me off. It's said in a way as if there's something wrong with me, like I'm stupid or don't understand Star Wars because I enjoy Andor. And look, to a degree, that all comes with the territory. I know that putting a video on the internet in a public space, if you will, opens me up to criticism, which is fair. In many ways, it's kind of the same thing I do when I criticize a film or a show. That is, again, being put out there in a public space for anyone and everyone to watch and enjoy. Basically, in my opinion, creating something and putting it out there willingly, be that a YouTube video or even a major motion picture, it means you should be prepared for others to not like it and say as much, and probably not in the kindest way. Which is maybe where the irony comes into play here, because oftentimes those who like to criticize others, well, they can't take criticism themselves. And don't get me wrong, it does, to a degree, suck to have someone not like a video you may have worked very hard on, and that you may be very proud of. Reading or hearing people tear your work apart is not easy. And it probably sucks far more to have people, lots of people, rip apart a movie you may have worked years on. In some ways, I'm actually kind of surprised more writers, actors, directors, and so on don't get, shall we say, a little more aggressive about defending their work on social media. But anyway, I'm getting a bit off topic, or way off topic, since my point is simply that many of us, if not most of us, have lost the ability to agree to disagree, even over things, I'm going to say it again, but even over things as frivolous and meant to be fun as Star Wars. We now see it as a personal attack that genuinely makes us mad when someone online that we'll likely never ever meet expresses an opinion about something different from our own. And if doing YouTube all these years has taught me anything at all, it's that seeking validation online is a fool's errand. You're never going to say anything that everyone is going to agree with or like. Never. There are always going to be people who, whether simply to be a troll or because they do indeed genuinely have a different opinion from you, go figure, there are always going to be people who try to get under your skin by using a keyboard. And not to be that guy, because I kind of hate this saying, but back in my day when I was growing up in the 80s and 90s before the internet and well before social media was a thing, kids back then were taught that sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me. Which isn't me trying to in any way excuse those who say some truly hateful and disgusting things to each other online. But people are going to say mean things to you online, and you have to decide how you're going to deal with them. And so before I get off topic and ramble on even more, if this question was asked sarcasm-free, and even if it wasn't, yeah, like whatever the hell you want to like, and like it however you want to like it. Which I feel almost takes us into a different conversation about gatekeeping, or a similar one, I should say, that I don't really want to get into right now, but to touch on it very briefly, it's a very modern term or thing. Gatekeeping didn't really exist before the internet, at least not in anywhere near the same way. Once upon a time, there was no way for the, let's say, average person to really put their fandom of something out there in a big way, or to really be rejected by anyone. Not anywhere, again, near the same way it can be today when you can post something that you think is harmless about something you enjoy to social media and literally have thousands upon thousands of people respond to you disagreeing with you and saying some not nice things to you. The only kind of gatekeeping I experienced as a kid was from people I knew telling me to shut up about Star Wars or whatever else I might be talking about, whatever else I might be a fan of in that moment as a child, not because they wanted to somehow keep me from being one, but just because they wanted me to shut up. Which is what I'm going to do now. But anyway, that's all I got for you this time. I know this wasn't really like my usual videos, but I don't know, I just saw this question and I felt like responding to it for some reason. And if you want me to respond to one of your questions, well, you can post one in the comments below and start it off with "Hey Thor," and then ask away. And maybe it'll be in a future video, and maybe not. I do get asked a ton of questions, so don't take offense if yours doesn't get responded to. Either way, leave those comments below, and let's talk some Star Wars. And until next time, thanks for watching.